Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. Are you here to learn something new? Yes. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. So today we are going to have a very interesting topic. How do you strategically invest in AI for maximum business impact? We are going to look at some challenges that you can face on the way. We are going to tackle those challenges. And then afterwards, we are going to close with some very practical AI examples in 3 industries. So let's get started. We don't have much time. So are you unsure where to begin your AI journey? Many organizations start their AI journey by asking everyone in the organization to tell them what to do in terms of AI. What are your ideas? What are your ideas? And that ends up to be a collection of ideas, and then people are stuck. Or sometimes companies start with a checklist. For any AI initiatives, they need to go through this checklist, and they need to adhere to the responsible AI framework, which is good. It's very good. But that's not the only thing that you need to think of when you start. You need to think about strategy. What's your real strategy? Strategy is not a collection of stuff. It's not a checklist. It's much more. And today we are going to look at that into more detail. Or are you afraid of the AI bubble or of an AI bubble? Who remembers the day of 5 of August? No one. Okay. The day of 5 of August was 2 months ago only. And that's when the stock markets dropped. There was an announcement in the news that in H1 alone in this year, big tech giants have invested more than 100 billion euro in AI. And they were starting to think maybe they're not going to get the full results that they were expecting. And because of that, the market went down. Now we are 2 months later, and the market is up by 10% or more. 10% was a few days ago when I made this presentation, but it starts to go even more. So, yeah, are you sad you didn't invest back then? Because I am. I should have bought more. So there is a threat. There is a risk. How do you make sure you don't invest too much? Does it mean that now you have to go and buy the biggest, the most expensive AI data centers from NVIDIA? Is that what you need to do? Maybe you need to do that. Or are there other options to start with AI that are really going to yield returns for you as a company? Or do you worry about standalone, unintegrated AI solutions? For instance, you may have a supplier that comes with one AI standalone AI solution. You implement that, and then you are thinking, okay, now what? How do I grow this stuff? How do I make sure that it's not just a hobby project? Which brings me to the next point. Okay, if you want integrated, maybe it's going to cost you a lot of money, right? Integration is expensive. How do you make sure that you don't have inefficient armies of tech teams? Sometimes I go to a supplier and I ask, okay, this is the problem. Can you please come with a solution? And they come with this huge army of people, and I'm like, I didn't ask for this. They come with business analysts. They come with junior developers, senior developers to help the junior ones, helper of a BA, business analyst, product owners. Aren't those supposed to come from the business? And wait for that, shadow product owners. Yeah. So how do you make sure that you're investing the right way? Or do you recognize this challenge of a high risk to the business due to loss of control? That AI becomes a big black box that you don't know based on what were those recommendations made. How do you make sure that you keep your risk low? How do you make sure that you iteratively add AI into the organization? So there's some good news. We are going to tackle this. Today we have very short time, so if you have more questions, feel free to reach out, and we can have further discussions. So before we move on, I want to give an introduction about myself. So I'm Emma Verhagen, and I'm a Global IT Director for portfolio, responsible for technology portfolio in Unilever. I'm responsible for the 200 million euro investment per year of around 200 different projects. I created the AI strategy for Unilever in collaboration with MIT that included Gen AI, machine learning, robotic process automation, and the roadmap for AI. And previously, I developed AI tools for automatic analysis, financial root cause analysis, automatic forecasting, promotion optimization, RPAs, and so on. Next to this, I am the founder and CIO of IdealShift.AI. IdealShift.AI is a company that is helping organizations to, in their shift towards AI, the ideal way, the right way. It specializes in comprehensive AI strategy and AI implementation, tailored to the company's goals, the company's needs, and addressing key challenges, which drive efficiency and growth. Before that, I used to work for Accenture, KPN, Philips, Telfort, in various different roles. Okay, enough about myself. I want to know about you. I would like to make have an exercise with you. I would like you to stand up. Yeah, please stand up. It's called a sit-down exercise. Don't sit down yet. Yeah, great. Okay, so sit down if your current organization or previous organization has tech teams that are so big that you're wondering what everyone is doing the whole day. It feels like money is thrown out the window. Yeah. Sit down if your current organization or previous organization lacks a clear AI strategy or roadmap, turning budget allocation into a game of who can shout the loudest with no clear benefits in sight. Yeah, that's a painful one, isn't it? Sit down if your organization sees AI as a buzzword rather than a transformative tool leading to superficial adoption. Okay? Standing strong, a few of you. Sit down if your organization has a culture of fear around AI replacing jobs, causing unrest among employees. Or sit down if your organization is worried that AI investments may not get a good return on investment. Okay? Still standing? Let's see the last one. Sit down if your organization finds it challenging to integrate AI with existing systems. Okay, so I'd say the ones that are standing, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. You can sit down. And I'd like to hear more from you. How do you do that? Okay, so before you start your AI journey, please consider these 3 North Stars. Number 1 is strategic alignment. Start with your company strategy. Start with the CEO strategy. Start with the KPIs of the company. Many times as technology, we are coming with our own business cases, our own IT strategy, our own KPIs. And then it starts to become very difficult because we have to push our solutions into the organization. So my advice is to start with the company's strategic objectives, then it trickles down to the departmental strategies, and then to really team up with the business, not to ask them, tell me what to do for you, but ask them, what is your strategy and where do you want to get? What are your key problems? And let's brainstorm together as a partner, in a partnership. The second one is value-driven solutions, so make sure you have a business case for your AI investments. Don't spend too much time on it because it may be outdated by the time you're finished, but do start there. And then the last one is, I'm going to go back, is the speed and agility. So start small. So how do you do this ideal shift to AI? Number 1 is the AI strategy. I suggest you do it in 6 to 8 weeks. We've done it with Unilever in 6 weeks in collaboration with MIT. And it's a great way to create buy-in. You start your change management before you start building anything. How cool is that? And then the second step is the AI implementation, to take 3 to 6 months. Don't start too big, start with small modular increments. Think about the technology that you implement. And look at your current cloud providers. Do you work with Microsoft Azure, for instance? Maybe you should build further on that. Do you work with the AWS? If you use the right modular technology, then the integration won't be such a big problem. But if you work with on a very particular technology that no one heard about, that's going to be more difficult to integrate. So I want to share with you the MIT strategy framework. So start with this strategy, and I would suggest to start to plan the start of your strategy in advance, maybe around a month in advance, so that you can start planning all your meetings very specifically and very orderly. Then you have time, because if you say, hey, do you have time next week? Maybe they won't have time, but if you ask, hey, do you have time next month? They may have time. And then start from the top of the organization, of the business, and then have those interviews on what are the strategies that you have, what are your main challenges, and get that, not only their buy-in. We don't talk to them to get their buy-in. I mean, that's a byproduct, and it's a great one. We talk to them because we really want to know what their strategy and what their challenges are. And do these interviews on all the levels of the organizations. So if you start from the top, then you can always say, hey, I talked to your boss, and I know these are their objectives. So then it feels more of their own KPIs. Then you can go into a process of seeing what AI solutions fit to the needs through machine learning, NLP or Gen AI, and robotic process automation. With RPA, that's actually the arm that is moving things. And that is many times tool agnostic. Not many, or some people don't know that, and I think that's relevant, because you can create a layer on top of all your tools that you currently have. Gen AI is the interaction part, and machine learning is the brain part. And many times the combination of these three are the most powerful, but if you're at the beginning, it could be just one, or a few of them. Then the next one is to look at the future of work. How is your organization going to look like after this? AI plus human intelligence, or artificial intelligence and human intelligence together are bigger than just artificial intelligence or human intelligence. We looked at with MIT that people continue to have needs. Jobs will continue to be created. Fear of being replaced may be a fear, and an important fear, but at the same time, the humanity always wants more, always wants to progress, always wants to have new solutions. Before the Industrial Revolution, we had 40% of our jobs were in agriculture. Are we crying now that we don't work in agriculture anymore? Maybe some good food for thought. And then finish your framework or your strategy with a roadmap. Finish it action-oriented. Finish it not only with what we want to do, but when we want to do it. And then do it modularly, if you remember. So I'd say don't lose the momentum that you created. Don't lose the urgency. Communicate the urgency. Communicate it before, hey, we have to do this in 6 to 8 weeks. This is it. And measure the benefits. Measure them early. Measure them often. Use the KPIs of the business. So now we have 5 more minutes. Let's look at some applications in 3 different industries. I have more industries, so if you want the slide for your industry, let me know. So in healthcare, that's for me the closest to my heart. You have, for instance, patient intake. Many times in the Netherlands, you need to wait 6 months, 3 to 6 months to see a doctor. In mental health care, that's really 6 months. Sometimes it's even more. So how can we bridge that gap? How can we use generative AI to do the intake, to make the matching between patients and the clinics that they can go to? Because imagine you wait for 3 months or you wait for 6 months to go for a hospital that would do a similar surgery that you need, but is not doing the exact same surgery that you need. Then you need to be referred again to another doctor, and then again wait for another 3 to 6 months. So how can we use AI to bring this waiting period down? Because there are many inefficiencies in that. And if we tackle the inefficiencies, then we can also shorten the waiting time. Another one is, so once you can do your patient intake with generative AI, with the voice or video, then you can have the doctor's letter pre-filled. That's going to save a lot of their time. Then you can build on top of it further. You see the modular, it starts with something small, is that form, basically, and then how it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Because at the end, you can also do diagnostics and preventative medicine. But if you don't have the data that is collected before, how are you going to do this? And the last one, that's not the top of it, because it's a general thing, very close to my heart as well, is the elderly care. How can we make sure that our elderly, and us as well, if it's going to go well, we are also going to end up there. How can we make sure that our elderly can stay as long as possible in the comfort of their home with the help of AI and intelligent automations and monitoring, computer vision, and so on? Now, there are some AI applications in connectivity business. So think of you go to a company and they have 2,000 different cables. How in the world do you know which cable you need to get? Now, there are experts for that, but you can also train an AI model to make the perfect product for you, to find the perfect match. Or you can have AI-enabled customer service. You can call, and instead of telling you, in Dutch would be, je bent de 17e wachtende, you are the 17th person in the row, to be mentioned, hey, do you want to talk to an AI agent while you're waiting? And then if you're not helped, we are still going to put you in front and you're still going to talk to an agent. So how can you integrate this? That you don't go all the way in and have risk, but that you are combining it with the human intelligence. Machine learning, market segmentation, maybe you have so many customers. How do you segment your customers that are most close to each other so you can serve them better? Predictive maintenance and auto-ordering. That's one of the elements in AI that is with the highest return on investment. So to predict that the machine is going to break before it breaks. I know in Unilever we have these big factories, and if one machine breaks, then the whole production can stand still. And it's a waste of resources because people stay and wait. Or demand forecasting and no-touch planning. This is also a very powerful one. So you can predict the demand and then start to automatically plan your production and then run your production. Then you can have same-day delivery much more than without. Or AI applications in the manufacturing industry. Same for demand forecasting and no-touch planning is very important there, maybe even more than in the connectivity industry, so that's why I put it first. Promotion optimization, personalized advice in marketing. So imagine your favorite celebrity talking to you on video and telling you what skincare you should use that is perfect for your type. Predictive maintenance is what I mentioned before. And one that I'm very passionate about is the autonomous innovation from idea to customer. How do you take an entire process and automate it with AI? And not only automate it, but also optimize it and make sure that there are little human steps needed, but then you need the monitoring, the human monitoring on top. And I think that's also the next step in AI. How do we bring proper monitoring in place and that we see why a particular recommendation was given? So I want to close with, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to brainstorm together. And I want to leave you with a teaser. What will be your next steps in your ideal shift to AI? Thank you very much.
Give Emma a hand. Now, Emma, I have a question for you. One of your questions to us was, if your company doesn't have a coherent strategy, what advice would you give to those of us who work in an organization that does not have a coherent strategy? What would you say to us? How can we work effectively?
A coherent AI strategy?
That's right.
Yeah. So I think it's important to start the right way. And I'm a person that wants results quickly, but at the same time, when it comes to strategy, going a bit slower at the beginning will make you faster later on. Is setting up those meetings and those governance structures with the people and asking them, what is your strategy? So starting with the company strategy. Now, if you do not have a strong company strategy, that may become more difficult. But there's also an opportunity to make the strategy of the CEO and really let it trickle down through the organization. Because by asking people, hey, what are you doing in terms of to enhance the strategy of the CEO, then they will start thinking. So that's going to help the CEO to actually bring change through the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, your turn. Do we have questions?
Hi, Emma. Just a quick question. I'm Niels, by the way. Did working with AI at Unilever have an impact on how you set up the organization? Because everything becomes so much faster with AI, so your customers, but also needs to be able to have a really idea to product organization which is able to perform faster with shorter lead times.
Yes. Yes. So there are two things. One is within the organization, how do you make it lean? So then I cannot talk much about it, but there is a program to make it more lean. But also it's very important how the tech organization is fitting that. Many times in 10 years, an organization is changing. The people in the business are changing, the departments are changing. But so few times the tech organization is changing, which should change as well in the same way as it should mirror. The tech organization should mirror the business organization. Because if you want to solve business needs and you need to go through an entire labyrinth until you understand how it works with tech and what is the team that you need in tech, then it's going to take longer to implement anything. So that's a very good question. Thank you.
Other questions?
Hello, thank you for the presentation. I think that AI is a buzzword if we look at it without knowledge, but being technical people, we use AI in our companies for quite long now. But speaking Gen AI as newer technology, which Gen AI cases you have implemented at Unilever already, or you would suggest us to start from? Thank you.
Yeah, so there are two that come into my mind right now is the celebrity one. We use it actually. That's an actual case to give you personalized advice. And then the second one is we started actually a long time ago with employee listening from social media. And now with Gen AI, we are powering this new technology to get even better insights of what our customers say about it, what they need. Another one is in marketing and testing marketing campaigns or advertisements. So instead of asking people after they see an advertisement when we do our testing, hey, do you like the advertisement or not? Instead of asking them, you look at their facial expressions with AI, and then generative AI, and then you can see, hey, are they happy or are they surprised? Because many times people, by the time an advertisement is ready, they forget that they were wowed exactly when that word was mentioned. So then you can get it much more precise. Not what the people say, but people actually experience. And it's on their faces.
We have time for one quick question.
Thank you for this smart and concise presentation. What were your key roadblocks when applying this approach at Unilever?
Sorry, what is the question?
What were your key roadblocks to success when you applied this approach at Unilever?
Very good question. One is the company is very big. So the bigger the company, the bigger the complexity, the more meetings you need to do, the more you need to align. So that's one. And then another one is the company culture of aligning with everyone before you take one step. Those were the challenges. And it's still a challenge. Yeah.
Let's thank this rising star, Emma Verhagen.
Thank you very much.